Hello, everyone, and welcome to Paula's Soapbox Live. You probably know my guest tonight from his time on Guiding Light as Dylan Lewis. What you may not know is that he is also a talented singer, songwriter, and musician. He has a new single out called Homeward Bound and an Indiegogo campaign to help fund the music video for that song. Now, over the years, I have interviewed several people on this show. And every once in a while, I come across an artist with so much promise and talent that you know you're seeing something special in the making. So, on that note, I would like to welcome to the show Morgan Englund.
Hi, Paula.
Hey, Morgan.
Hey.
Wow, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. That was a very moving opening. Thank you.
Oh, well, yeah, it's my pleasure. I meant it, so.
Wait, do I get to see everybody else that's watching, or am I just all by myself?
You're all by yourself. Yeah, people can see you, hopefully. If everything is okay, people can see you, so. So before we talk about anything else, we need to kind of talk about Guiding Light for a little bit. So I know it's been a while, but so you shared the screen because of your character. You shared the screen with some heavy hitters in daytime. So do you remember what your first day was like on the set of Guiding Light?
I pretty much don't remember anything at all from that. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I do actually, because we were in upstate New York filming Reba's wedding to Josh.
Mm-hmm.
So we were on location in upstate New York, and I remember being so excited. I was riding with Jordan Clark and Robert Newman in the car, and you know, they were established actors, and I was just so you know, like just a kid. But I mean, I was not, but I felt like one. So and that was really cool. I mean, we did some fun stuff. I remember falling out of remember the little Mara? She was supposed to, I think I was supposed to get her kite out of the tree or something. And so they had me climb this tree. Well, it was all worm, it was dead and worm eaten and stuff. So I stepped on this branch and the branch just broke. I mean, it just instantly broke. And I'm flying through the air, just like trying not to land on her and make sure the branch doesn't hit her. But I just was like, well, the show's got to go on, right? So I landed and just kept doing the scene, and they're like, wait, cut. Wait, what? I mean, you got to roll with it. You know, it's funny. Some of the best things happen when you don't anticipate them, and just a bummer when a director, you know, cuts it instead of trying to use it. So
yeah, and with a soap opera, I'm sure you were told, you know, to keep rolling as much as you could, because you don't really get any cuts with that.
Right. But again, that was my first day, so.
Right, yeah. Well, it broke the ice anyway and the tree, but.
Yeah, right.
So I know that you always saw yourself as a character actor. So how did you reconcile that with the character you played on Guiding Light?
Well, I don't know. I just played the character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think probably identified with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to me. So playing a leading man is tough for me. Playing like, you know, whatever the picture of a leading man is. And it's just, I would get sent on auditions for this stuff, and it's just like, this is not who I am. So harder for me to play that character. But I don't know. I really love playing that character.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. Well, obviously, a lot of people still remember you.
Yeah.
Playing that character. So
people have been amazing. I mean, I've just been blown away by just the love, you know, that that came back. And I'll tell you, when I first started it, I was very kind of wary of people's, you know, I don't know, their fan, you know, being my fan or saying, you know, being a celebrity through Guiding Light, because it was almost as if just because I was on the show. Well, it wasn't almost, it was because I was on the show, I was a celebrity. And I always, you know, you want to be appreciated for the work you do. So I never really knew if it was like the work I was doing, at least not for a while, or it was just because I was on the show.
Yeah.
And so I guess my whole point is just now there's no doubt, you know, when somebody says, I loved you, you know, watching you, or you know, a complimentary comment to me,
Right.
you know, I really can take it in. I think another thing that was hard for me is just growing up as Cloris Leachman's son, you know,
Right.
knowing what people's intentions were. I was always very suspicious of it, because usually it turned out that it wasn't about me. It was about either getting close to her or whatever. So.
Right. Well, since you went ahead and brought that up, I wanted to touch on the fact that, yeah, Cloris Leachman is your mother. Your father is George Englund. And, yeah, you said that you felt like the forgotten son. So what did you mean by that?
Well, just that in my place in the family, there were 3 older brothers, and they were, well, the youngest was 6 years older than me, but they were 2 years apart. So they were a pretty tight-knit group. And so 6 years later, I come along, and then 2 years after that, my sister comes along. So I guess what I mean by it was that there was so much drama with my older brothers.
Yeah.
That I kind of got lost in the mix, and I kind of would just be watching, you know? And so, and it was tough for them. They had a pretty tough childhood, just between my mom and my dad. And I think that I was lucky in that, you know, I kind of was able to hide. I was able to not be affected by some of the stuff that went down, and also to see some of the mistakes that my brothers might have made, that things I didn't want to do and things that I did. So I actually mean that in a way where it was actually a positive thing. I mean, you know, as a kid, it doesn't feel that good. And looking back on it, spent a lot of time raising myself. And, but that's, you know, it's made me the person I am today. And I know, you know, I mean, I know my parents love me. And, but I think my position in the family allowed me to have success that maybe some of my other siblings haven't been able to achieve.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so you had sort of a maybe a typical Hollywood upbringing. I think that's kind of a familiar story with a lot of people who grew up.
I mean, it's some, you know, you have, I mean, my mother, she's just an incredible actress. It takes dedication. I mean, she had 5 kids.
Right.
You know, I mean, you got to pick. You can't be successful at both. I mean, she's a great mother and a great person.
Right.
But I mean, you just simply can't be in 2 places at the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I know that you said that you had got into some trouble as a kid, acted out a little bit, had some brushes with the law, that sort of thing. So do you think that you were looking for that attention, even if it was negative attention?
I think that I just didn't take any guff from anybody. You know, I have 3 older brothers that it's like, what are you going to do to me that they haven't already done?
Right.
Bring it on, you know? So, yeah, I mean, when a teacher or a principal would tell me to do something, you know, I did cause a lot of trouble and stuff, but it wasn't anything malicious. You know, I think I had a good heart. And getting back to Dylan, I think that's who he was. He was a guy that's rough around the edges,
Right.
but ultimately he's got a good heart, and I think that's very much who I am. I hope.
So you were able to identify with him that way. I'm sorry, can you turn the volume down a little bit on your phone? I'm getting an echo.
Yeah, is that better?
Let me see. I think so. I think it's better. I was hearing my own voice in my ear, so it was kind of cutting out the broadcast.
That's not better. You know what? I can put some headphones on. Would that help?
That might help, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna take a little trip out to my car and get the adapter for the headphones.
I knew that this was going to be an interesting interview before it ever started. So
you got to keep it interesting, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I couldn't have planned it. So
here's my whole PA in the back of my car. Oh, please let me. Oh, found it. Oh, this is very lucky.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna run so we don't waste any time.
Okay,
Sorry,
that's cool. Or you can just talk while you're running if you want to.
Okay, what are we talking about again?
That you were able to identify with Dylan because he was rough around the edges and
right.
Flawed, I guess, would be a good word.
Yeah, well, aren't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good. It was kind of a bummer how they always kind of smooth off those rough edges.
Yeah.
From the character, any character.
Right. Yeah.
And that's what makes it interesting, right?
Right.
So
I mean, people wouldn't watch otherwise.
Right. Okay, here we go.
So yeah, on Guiding Light, also like being on a soap opera, especially pretty much anyone who's in the spotlight, but especially for soap operas, everyone has an interesting fan encounter story. And I read this story, and I'm thinking it's true, but I'm gonna ask you about it anyway. When you were a paramedic firefighter, you were helping this woman, and I think that she was suffering from smoke inhalation or something, and she had an oxygen mask on, and she recognized you as Dylan, ripped off her mask, and screamed. Did that happen?
It's happened several times. I'm not.
Oh wow.
It's happened several times. It happened the first time it happened. I was a ski patrol, and this lady had mid-shaft femur fracture, and she was pretty heavy, and she probably shouldn't have been like skiing. Anyway, I mean skiing like the way that she was. It was a steep run, and it was but she broke her upper leg in half. And I'd only had I was still training, and this is my first, this is the first thing I did as a emergency responder or first responder. And so we get to her and, calm her down, get her breathing shot, and start looking through stuff. And it may have been her because there was an oxygen mask on her, but that's exactly what happened. She goes, "Dylan."
Oh gosh.
Let's take your blood pressure first before we get into that.
Right. It's like, no, you're hallucinating. It's really not.
But and it just happened to me recently, or a few months, like maybe a month before I left the department. A lady recognized me, which was so funny. And then in Hawaii, right after I left the department, it happened again. I mean, people still recognize me now, it just blows me away. But right. And then there was a time, and I was in the hospital. I was there waiting with a patient, waiting for a bed, and the other ambulance came in with a patient right by me because their patient was more critical. So, and then the woman, the paramedic, came out. She comes up to me. She goes, "Our lady thinks you're like an actor or something." She's like. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, let me go talk to her." So we're all in the, "What's up, sister?" We're just having a good old time back in her little cubicle back there.
Yeah.
But
That
was
is
pretty
so
funny.
awesome.
It is
That's
funny.
so funny. Yeah, I mean, because it's